Good afternoon. My name is Francisco Teixeira Barbosa, and this is another webinar for Dental Tools where I have to say thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, Drew, for giving me this chance to explain my clinical cases to all of you. And this time I'm going to talk about the predictable aesthetic results in your implantology. And I'm going to talk basically about the biological principles that we can use and then we can manage in the daily practice to achieve some aesthetics results with implants. So, okay, let's start about a concept that is a new concept, but not from too many years ago. It's a concept from the 2006 from Lazara. And what is a platform switching? What we are talking about when we say platform switching? Okay, first of all, I would like to say that platform switching is a brand from a commercial brand from 3i, and I really don't like to talk about platform switching. I would like to prefer like mismatched platform, like it's something that a platform that doesn't match with an implant. So what is really what are we talking about when we talk about a platform treating? It's something that is very difficult even for Spanish people to say, and that's why I wrote it like you see, and it's not correct spell. So what is the background about this concept that somehow will give us better aesthetics results and less bone loss around our implants? Okay, we can start to talk about that article from Albrechtson in the year 86 where he explains us about the success criteria of implantology. There are a lot of success of criteria that tell us if a treatment is successful or is not successful. For example, the implant, it has not to be no mobility of this implant. Of course, no mobility. The patient could refer pain with an implant because that is a not successful implant. And of course, the bone loss around these implants should not be more than 1.5 millimeters in the first year, and then 0.2 in the next years. So these were the success criteria from Albertson. Remember, year 86 is a long time ago. And why there is bone loss around an implant? When you place an implant, there is a bone loss, and something that was described by Berglund some years later from the article from Albertson is the biological width. When you insert an implant and this implant is exposed to the oral cavity, somehow the gap between the implant and the prosthesis is filled with bacteria, and these bacteria will perform some change in the implant. So somehow a biological width, like in teeth, is formed in implants. This biological width is similar to teeth, but it has some difference. As you can see, the measurements from the teeth and the implants biological width is more or less the same, but the collagen is rich in cellular content, and the fibers, this is a very important issue, the fibers of the biological width have a parallel orientation of the supracrestal fibers. So this is important because the resistance of the biological width to an aggression is lower than in teeth. Okay, what really happens when this gap is filled with bacteria and there is a contamination with bacteria of this gap between the implant and the prosthesis? So Erickson studied this, and he created a great article you are going to see now. This is a video that explains what happened when the implant is exposed to the oral cavity. And as you can see, there what is described a peri-implant inflammatory reaction. As you can see, the yellow spots are bacteria. Now they are going down from the gingival margin, and they, as you see, now they are in the gap. When they achieve the gap, the bone remodeling starts, and this is when the biological width is formed. Here we have an horizontal resorption and a vertical resorption. That is a response from our body, from the biological response, to an aggression of bacteria that fills the gap. This is what Berglund explained us some years before. So what happened? What is really the platform change? I think this is the X-ray, the most famous X-ray from all times. As you can see, there are no coincident, some screws some abutment, healing abutment that doesn't match with the implant, and somehow Lazaro discovered that these no matching abutments preserve the bone. Okay, and this happens with the implants that have a machinet color, like the famous SCLA, the famous tissue implant from Straumann. Okay, it could work. Canolo made a study, and the first results were encouraging because the bone loss was not present in at the beginning, but afterwards it starts somehow again the bone starts to resorb. There are some experiments about this and how we should to play